Sometimes I wonder if their system of justice would do a little better today. You know, maybe we'd be in better shape. So that's the story about Spy Oak.
There was a historian in the 19th century, and he made a collection of all these different stories of apparitions and so on. And it's in a very small book. And you might be able to get it in the Historical Society library now. I was instrumental in getting the book, and then I turned it over to one of our officers, and I never saw it again. But anyway, and you have another story where some of these men were going down into Westchester Village by horseback, of course, and their horses absolutely refused to pass that tree. And the only way they could get down there was they had to go in the dismantled part of the stone wall, so the horse could go in and go around and out the other side. So evidently there was a lot of belief in that, and they've had witnesses to that effect. You know. So and they had a Spy Oak Tavern right in this corner here. That was the name of it. And right behind that, as I said, that's where the place was. But nobody ever paid much attention to it. I mean, if you talked about it, people didn't know too much of where it was. They knew it was in this area. That's where it was, Spy Oak. Okay.
What happened? No. While we're on this corner too, I should mention a little more about, of course, we sort of skipped over Buer a little bit, Henry Buer. His farm was right across the street. Don't forget these streets were in here, so it's sort of, the boundary lines are not exactly straight. But his farm was right across the street here, and he grew up with, his schooling consisted of just a few months a year. Whenever there was no farm work to be done, that's when they went to school. Otherwise, Henry Buer, he had a very rudimentary education. He was basically a farmer. But he did enlist in 1861 into the Army, and he served for 2 full years, July of 61 to July of 63. And he was at Bull Run and various other engagements, Pennsylvania, Virginia, whatnot. So he was honorably discharged in July of 1863, and came back and continued with his farm, went back to his farming. So it was right across the street from here.
Now about 25 to 30 yards behind me, you can see the part of the old Pelham Road. It's behind now the metal fence, and the house you see there, it was the only one you would see after you left Westchester Square. That was right on facing the Pelham Road. Now it's the back of the house that faces onto the avenue and behind there, and Mulford. So, I know one of our old timers, Charlie Crimmy, he remembers going past here on the summer trolley, and that house was the only one. They always knew that they were getting close to a home over here. And it followed that street is the old Pelham Road is picked out. It becomes the backyard of all those people on the other side, the next block going down. And that's the last loop. Then it loops back again and finally ends up at Pelham. Now down over here we're going to. Oh wait. All right, we're approaching the end of our walk of Pelham Road, the old Pelham Road, and we're facing into the heart of Stannardstown. It goes back to the 1870s, 1880s. So this has always been a